Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in wa ala umuri dunya waddin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain, amma ba'du. The Honorable Rector of Universitas Islam Malang, Bapak Profesor Dr. Haji Mashkuri MSI. The Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Bapak Profesor Junaidi Mistar, MPD, PhD. The Vice Rector for Institution, Publication and Technology Affairs, Ibu Dr. Insinyur Hajah Istirohah Puciwati, MP. Respectable all the keynote speakers, Bapak Profesor Junaidi Mistar, MPD, PhD from Universitas Islam Malang, Indonesia. Bapak Dr. Aslam Han from American Education Group, Malaysia. Bapak Dr. Willy Ardian Renandia from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. And then Bapak Dr. Gumawang Jati MA from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia. The Honorable, the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Islam Malang, Bapak Dr. Hasan Busri, MPD. The Honorable, the Head of English Education Department, FKIP Universitas Islam Malang, Bapak Eko Suhartoyo, MPD. And all our beloved conference committee, presenters, participants, and all the invited lecturers in the first ICON ELT 2020. First of all, let's pray and praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessings and mercy, we can come together without any obstacle here in healthy condition. Secondly, let's greet and pray to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who had brought us to the path of light and left the darkness in this life. My name is Febti Ismiatun. It is an honor for me standing here as your mistress of ceremony in the first ICON ELT 2020 with the theme ELT in post-pandemic era, from policies to practices. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this opening ceremony by reading prayers based on our beliefs. Ala hadiniyah wa ala kulli niyatin sholihah bi syafaati Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Fatihah. Singing the national anthem Indonesia Raya and followed by Mars Syubanul Waton, please be standing.
يا للوطن حب الوطن من الإيمان ولا تكن من الحرمان انهضوا على الوطن يا للوطن يا للوطن يا للوطن حب الوطن من الإيمان ولا تكن من الحرمان انهضوا على الوطن Indonesia بلادي أنت عنوان الفخامة كل من يأتيك يوما يومي هيا القومامة كل من يأتيك يوما يومي هيا القومامة hati wahai tanah airku, cintamu dalam imanku, jangan halangkan nasibmu, bangkitlah hai bangsaku, usapkan hati wahai tanah airku, cintamu dalam imanku, jangan halangkan nasibmu, bangkitlah hai bangsaku. Indonesia negeriku, engkau panji martabatku. Siapa datang mengancammu, kan binasa di bawah tulimu. Siapa datang mengancammu, kan binasa di bawah tulimu.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Reciting Sholawat Nuril Anwar, please welcome Bapak Junaidi SPD.
صلوا على النبي محمد. اللهم صل على نور الأنوار وسر الأسرار وانتراك الأغيار ومفتاح باب اليسار سيدنا ومولانا محمد المختار وآله الأطهار وأصحابه الأخيار عدد نعم الله وإفضاله عدد نعم الله وإفضاله اللهم صل على نور الأنوار وسر الأسرار وترياق الأغيار ومفتاح باب اليسار سيدنا ومولانا محمد المختار وآله الأطهار وأصحابه الأخيار عدد نعم الله وإفضاله عدد نعم الله وإفضاله. صلوا على النبي محمد.
Thank you very much. The Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to listen to the opening speech delivered by the Head of English Education Department, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Islam Malang. Please welcome Bapak Eko Suhartoyo, MPD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi syrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'du. The Excellency Rektor Universitas Islam Malang, Bapak Profesor Dr. Haji Maskuri MSI, Respectable Vice Rector 1 Universitas Islam Malang, Bapak Profesor Dr. Andes Haji Junaidi Mr. MPD PhD, Vice Rector 4 Universitas Islam Malang, Ibu Dr. Insinyur Hajah Istirohah Pujiwati MP, Honorable Dean Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Bapak Dr. Hasan Busri MPD, all the Vice Deans, all the Head of Study Programs in Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, all the invited lecturers, and also respectable keynote speakers of the first International Conference on English Language Teaching 2020. The first, Dr. Willy Ardian Renandia from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, Dr. Honoris Causa Aslam Khan from American Education Group, Malaysia, Dr. Gumawang Jati from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia, and Professor Dr. Andes Junaidi Mr. MPD PhD from Universitas Islam Malang, Indonesia, and all beloved committee, presenters, and participants of the first International Conference on English Language Teaching 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, the International Conference on English Language Teaching, or ICON ELT 2020, is one of the greatest international conference in Universitas Islam Malang. It can be seen from the presenters as well as participants who come from Indonesia and abroad. The ICON ELT 2020 is the first international conference conducted by English Education Department, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Islam Malang, by inviting the keynote speakers from Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia to deliver their ideas under the theme, English Language Teaching in Post-Pandemic Era, from Policies to Practices. This conference is expected to be a forum to address some issues of ELT in the pandemic era and aims at bringing together academics, teachers, researchers, and students to exchange ideas and research findings. Also, it provides forum for those who involved to present and discuss the most recent innovations, trends, concerns, practical challenges encountered, and the solution adopted in the field of English language teaching, both in theory and practice. As the chief of the ICON ELT 2020, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the all keynote speakers. And then, it is my honor to welcome the 60 presenters and more than 100 participants coming from Indonesia and those who affiliated in abroad such as Thailand and Australia. On behalf of the organizing committee, we also express our gratitude to Professor Dr. Andes Haji Junaidi Mr. MPD PhD, Ibu Dr. Mutmainah Mustafa MPD, and Bapak Dr. Alvan Zuhairi MPD as our seniors. Thank you for guiding us and making this conference run smoothly. Last but not the least, I hope that all the presenters and participants can enjoy and engage the conference until the end. Thank you very much. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the next speech is delivered by the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Islam Malang. Please welcome Bapak Dr. Hasan Busri, MPD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahilladzi khalaqal insana fi ahsani taqwim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhul mab'usu rahmatan lil alamin. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'du. Di Excellency Rektor Universitas Islam Malang, Bapak Profesor Dr. Haji Maskuri, MSI, The Honorable Vice Rector 1, Profesor Junaidi Mister PhD, The Honorable Vice Rector 4, Ibu Dr. Hajah Istirohah Pujiwati MP, The Honorable the Head of English Education Department, Bapak Eko Suhartoyo, MPD, and the Chief of the first ICON ELT International Conference on English Teaching. Respectable all keynote speaker of the first International Conference on English Language Teaching, Bapak Dr. Willy Andrian Renandia from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, Bapak Dr. Aslam Khan from American Education Group, Malaysia, Dr. Gunawan Jati from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia, and Bapak Profesor Junaidi Mister PhD from Universitas Islam Malang, Indonesia. And respectable the conference committee, administrator, faculty members, teacher, researchers, student, and all participants of this ICON ELT 2020. On behalf of Universitas Islam Malang and faculty, I am glad to welcome our keynote speaker from Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, as well as all presenters and participants of this conference organized by English Education Department, FKIP Unisma. Universitas Islam Malang and FKIP have been growing to elaborate network, both national and international, through some collaboration, publication, and international program. The first ICON ELT has become the bridge for study program, faculty and university to reach global connection and world civilization like Unisma motto. The first ICON ELT is able to enrich knowledge in the scope of English language teaching during pandemic, both in theory and practice. Hopefully, everyone can explore the ideas and get the best and valuable experience from this conference. Also, The publication output of the program can strengthen your personal development as well as your institution. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say thank you very much for all who have attended this conference. I do hope we can take the benefit from this meaningful agenda. I also would like to give my appreciation to all conference committee who organized the program very well. That's all from me. Again, I am very happy to meet you all today virtually. Thank you very much. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to listen to the speech delivered by Rector of Universitas Islam Malang, as well as will officially open the first international conference on English language teaching 2020. Please welcome Bapak Profesor Dr. Haji Mashkuri, MSI.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa syukrulillah, ala nikmatillah, wa la hawla wa la quwata illa billah. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in, amma ba'du. Respectable keynote speakers of the first international conference on English language teaching, ICON ELT, Dr. Willy Andrian Renandia from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, Dr. Honoris Causa Aslam Khan from American Education Group, Malaysia, Dr. Gumawang Jati from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia, and Prof. Junaidi Mistar, MPD PhD from Universitas Islam Malang, Indonesia. Respectable Dr. Hasan Busri, MPD, Dean Faculty of Teacher Training and Education of Unisma. Respectable the conference committee and all participants of this ICON ELT 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Universitas Islam Malang, I am very happy to welcome our keynote speakers from Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Welcome to Unisma Malang. Unisma Malang has been developing its national and international collaboration and reputation through its excellent services, achievement, and joint international programs and events. Our motto is from Nahdlatul Ulama for Indonesia and for the world civilization. This international conference is very important for us to share the state of the art in English language teaching. It is also a great moment for us to develop our networking and collaboration with scholars across nation and globe. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Unisma Malang, I would like to deliver my appreciation to the organizing committee from English Language Education Study Program, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education of Unisma Malang, who has organized this ICON ELT 2020 successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can participate in all the conference program and take benefit from them. I hope we could be more innovative and creative to advance social science and technology for a better and more harmonious life of all human being. By saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officially open this icon ELT 2020. That's all from me. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the end of the conference agenda. I'd like to call upon Bapak Hamidin MPD to close the opening ceremony by praying. Please welcome Bapak Hamidin MPD.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will lead this prayer based on teaching of Muslims. Those who are not Muslim, you are pleased to pray according to your belief. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalalika wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma shalli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ahu wa arinal batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabah. Allahumma arzuqna fahman nabiyyin wa hifdzal mursalin wa ilhamal malaikatil muqarrabin. Fafahamnaha Sulaiman wa kullan atayna hukman wa ilman wa sakharna ma'a Daud al-jibala yusabbihna wat-tayr wa kunna fa'ilin ya hayyu ya qayyum ya rabb Musa wa Harun ya rabb Ibrahim wa ya rabb Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma arzuqna al-fahma wal ilma wal hikmata wal aqla bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbana ighfir lana wa liwalidayna warhamna kama rabbayana shighara. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dhurriyyatina qurrata a'yun waj'alna muttaqina imama. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we continue to the next program, which is the plenary session 1. And then Bapak Dr. Imam Wahyudi Karimullah SSMA as the moderator will lead the agenda. I am as the mistress of ceremony would like to say thank you very much for all your attention and please enjoy the conference until finish. Akhirul kalam. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, all the participants from Malaysia, from Singapore, from Thailand, from Australia, and from across Indonesia. I would like to say welcome to our colleagues from Prince of Songkla University Phuket campus. Attending with us, Dr. Parichat Choreniwarat Tanasari and also Dr. Napacha Prapawadi. They are both of them are senior lecturers from the Faculty of International Studies, Prince of Songkla University Phuket campus, our partner. Also welcome participants from National Institute of Education Singapore, and also from Australia, from Institute Technology Bandung. And we also have participants from Malaysia, especially from Erichkan Education Group. Respectable all participants, faculty members, administrators, teachers, researchers. With me, Imam Wahyudi Karimullah from Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. We are having the first session with Dr. Anaris Kausa Aslam Khan. Before we will before we listen from his very important presentation, I would like to briefly provide information on his curriculum vitae. His professional qualification was from Malaysia and the United Kingdom. He has received numbers of awards, the Doctor of Excellence, Doctor Honoris Causa in English Language Education and 21st Century Education. And he received the National Excellent Teacher Award on Teacher's Day, and also Excellent Senior Lecturer. And he also received 4 National Excellent Service Award and 1 International Excellent Service Award from Ministry of Education, Malaysia. He had been a senior lecturer, master trainer, and also consultant in the English Studies program, and also head of International and Corporate Department, the Institute of Teacher Education Specialist Campus. And also, he has a very extensive experiences in planning, implementing, coordinating, and managing national and international teacher and professional training programs. He was a member of National Steering Committee for teacher training twinning programs between Malaysia, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. And he also conducted consultation, advisory work for government and corporate organization and academic institution, both national and international level. He was the vice chair and coordinator of the Malaysian Technical Cooperation Program. This is a very important program participated by more than 90 countries. And he has been serving for 15 years, a government-to-government program for the training of teachers, lecturers, and educators. He was the project manager of the Malaysian Australian Education Project for Afghanistan. And also, he frequently invited as a featured speaker at various national and international English language education conferences. He has contributed a lot in Indonesia for the past 12 years. And he also served as an executive committee and vice president of MELTA, a very important organization in Malaysia, Malaysian English Language Teaching Association, for 20 years. So imagine, he has a very intensive experience in English language teaching area. And recently, he served the Ministry of Education of Malaysia for 39 years, almost 40 years, prior to his retirement. And currently, he is a senior lecturer and executive vice chairman of American Education Group Malaysia, China, and UK, and a council member of National Association of Private Education Institutions in Malaysia, and also now is the vice president of Malaysian Association for Education. Without further ado, I would like to invite him to present and to share a very important information, topic, New Normal and Challenges in English Language Learning and Teaching, the 21st Century and Education 4.0, from theories, concepts, and also contextualized solutions and practical pedagogical approaches for best classroom practices. I would like to give him for about 40 minutes, and then we will have a question and answer session for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then please, all the participants, you can write down your questions while he is presenting his topic. Without further ado, we would like to welcome Dr. Honoris Causa Aslam Khan, Vice Chairman of Malaysian American Education Group Malaysia, with a round of applause.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning.
Good morning, Aslam.
A very good morning to Bapa Rector, Vice Rector, and all management team of Unisma. And I would like to thank Unisma for inviting me. I was there last year giving a public lecture. And it's only sad that this year we just can't be there face to face. But anyway, technology is always there to assist us. All right. So once again, Assalamualaikum. A very good morning to Bapak Rector, Vice Rector, all the heads of department, organizing committee, lecturers, and all the staff of Unisma for this opportunity. And also, very good, Assalamualaikum, and very good morning to all the participants from wherever you are. So, what I'm going to share today is my title, which I will share now, yeah? Okay, let me see. Oh. All right. Please, you can stop me at any time. Yeah, please stop me at any time to ask anything that you want to ask. Okay. Now, I hope you can see my screen. Somebody has to tell me whether the screen is okay or not. Yeah. Can you see the screen? Yeah. Please interrupt me at any time. Is it okay now? Can everyone see? Okay, good. I'm going to talk about the new normal in English language education, the challenges, contextualized solutions, and best practices. Now, this is basically my personal experience, which I've went through, and I'm still going through, based on my interactions with the Ministry of Education, based on interaction with researchers, teachers, and also students. So just sharing with you, yeah? All right? Now, what is in store today? I'm going to share some underlying theories and concepts, the new normal, challenges, which are related to policies, pedagogies, resources, technology, CPD, practitioners, learners, and other related issues, and some suggested practical and contextualized solutions. All right? Now, before we start, these are some of my pertinent questions that I want all of you to kind of pay attention to. Yeah, pay attention to the 10 pertinent questions. And at the end of the session, I want you to provide some kind of a realistic feedback towards all these 10 questions. Yeah. The 10 questions are, what does the new normal actually mean? Have we practiced the new normal before this? If yes, what, when, and how? What are your personal thoughts regarding the new normal from the perspective of concepts and practices? How would you embrace the new normal in your personal classroom practices? Is there a realism and idealism, or realistic versus idealism? in regards to the new normal. Who does the new normal belong to? How long will the new normal last? Are you, your students, your colleagues, and the communities ready for the new normal? Is your institution ready for the new normal? Is your country ready for the new normal? So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the 10 pertinent questions for us to reflect at the end of my presentation. Will that be okay? Good. Good. Okay. When we talk about education, there are certain aspects of education that we cannot change because we have to understand. All right? We need to understand. Okay, can you see this screen? Can you see the screen? Yeah, do you teach or do you educate? Now, this is very important. Are we teaching or are we educating? So let's spend a few seconds or maybe a minute or so. Okay, now, okay, does the video provide us with some thoughts about who we are? Are we a mere teacher or are we more than a teacher, an educator? So these are questions that we need to reflect and ask ourselves. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to answer me, but just think about it and ask yourself, am I a mere teacher, or am I, an educator? All right. Now, look at the quote here. Education. Can you see the slide? Education needs to shift from teaching us facts to teaching us how to live extraordinary lives. Can you see this? Yes? So we have to ensure that our learners will have extraordinary lives when they leave the institution. So, some of the theories that we always see, we talk about IR 4.0. All agree? And then we move from the first Industrial Revolution to the fourth Industrial Revolution, where we are in today. All agree? Yes, you can see the screen, right? Now look at the fourth Industrial Revolution. Based on the use of cyber physical systems. Now, when we are having this conference, we are already looking on this. We move away from the third to the fourth, okay? And then we talk about education 4.0. These are some of the theories, theories and concepts that we have always been talking before the new normal. And we talk about education 4.0. Now look at the 9 trends. Look at the 9 trends of education 4.0. It is anywhere, anytime, very personalized, very flexible delivery, peers and mentors. So you see, we learn from our students learn from us. So there is that kind of a relationship. All right, it's just not one-way traffic of education to the learners, but we also pick up important knowledge or new knowledge from our students, and then we do research, and then we apply it with our students again. So you see, we are talking about why and where, not what and how, because the what and how the students can collect anywhere. Why and where. Then we talk about practical application. Anything that students learn should be applied in a practical manner. We talk about projects and modulars. That's why we talk about project-based learning. And then student ownership. Students' ownership. This is crucial. And then we talk about evaluation, not examination. Now, these are the 9 trends. Now, we talk about IR 4.0, education 4.0, before the new normal. So these are the 9 trends of education 4.0. And then we talk about 21st century education. The 6 C's of education for 21st century. Think critically, communicate clearly, work collaboratively, embrace culture, develop creativity, and utilize connectivity. But I personally feel, and I think most of you would agree with me that we have to have a +1.
Isi dong.
Contextualization. So that's why the 6 C's +1 is contextualization. Now, why is contextualization so crucial? Because we always talk about one hat does not fit all. Let's see for Indonesia. You can talk about the same topic, the same subject, but the way you teach it, the way the students learn it may not be the same. If you are, we are now in Malang, the University City of Indonesia in East Java. If we go to other parts of Indonesia, maybe in Palembang, or maybe in Bogor, or maybe in Kendari, in Sulawesi, you can teach the same topic, the same subject, but the context will be different because all learners are different. All learners are different. Okay, their teaching styles, their learning styles and our teaching styles should accommodate to their learning styles. So contextualization is very crucial. So that's why personally, I feel that it should be 6 C's +1. And then we talk about the conventions. Everybody agrees. This is the convention, right? Agree, everyone? A classroom with 20, 30 students, agree? Yeah. Can you see the image? Yes. This is the convention. This is a convention. This is agree? All these are the conventions that we have been working upon. We have embarked upon. And then we say, okay, now we have a new normal. Due to the pandemic situation, we can't have face-to-face classes. You can, but it has to be a bit blended learning. Sometimes you have face-to-face, sometimes students don't come to class. Maybe they come to classes, 2 times a week or 3 times a week, and then classes cannot be huge like before, large classes. We are now looking at social distancing. So you see, the new normal, we always talk, currently the new normal is the, topic that everyone is talking about in the education world, the challenges. And then we talk about realism versus idealism. And then we come up with our own stance or perspective. Now, there are many, many issues or many aspects of the new normal that we are reflecting every day. And what actually is a new normal? It's something that is previously unfamiliar or atypical situation. Now it has become usual or expected. And these are some of the keywords or maybe words that we will share when we talk about the new normal. I think most of you have seen all these words. Agree? Now the shift from the conventional approach, we are now embarking on the new normal. This is the new normal. you don't have a huge class anymore. Learners are embarking on a new normal. And what is the new normal? You can see them on the screen. But just for your information, we have to be very careful because online learning versus remote learning, there's a slight difference there. Okay, there's a slight difference there. This slide will provide you the difference between what is online learning and what is remote learning in the new normal, yeah? Like I said, the first part, we are talking about the theories, then we talk about the new normal in the second part. And then in the new normal, we have challenges. Look at this. Can you see this image? The child is being managed maybe by the grandmother. Maybe the parents are away at work. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. These are challenges because a child who is so used to having classes with friends, and now the child is sitting alone, facing the computer. A lonely journey, right? So these are the key challenges. Let's look at the key challenges. The first challenge is definitely adaptability struggle. Compatibility, encouraging collaboration, loneliness. Now, this is the first challenge, both for the learners and also the teachers. How do we adapt? All right, there's a change from the normal face-to-face. Now we are into the new normal where we are looking at remote learning. How compatible is remote learning or maybe online learning with the conventions that we practice every day? You know, every morning or every afternoon, the teacher go to school, meet friends, students, you know, the education endeavor is not basically academic. There's also the social endeavor. But now it is different. Your learners are all at home, and you are at home. How do you adapt to the new normal? So that's a challenge there. Then we have the second challenge, that is technical issues. Connectivity and availability. These are issues. Because in some places, the signal may not be that good. And is it available? Some of the technical assistance, time management and staying connected, socio-economic factor or affordability. Now, how many of our learners can afford a computer or iPad or iPhone or phone, whatever? If there are 3 children at home and they're all going to school at the same time, now we need 3 technical assistants, right? Are the families, can they afford? And then what about computer or IT or technical skills? Is everyone technically savvy? Literacy, computer literacy, digital competence. Now, these are issues for us to think about, because these are real life or realistic challenges. And then what about motivation, self-motivation, accountability? Now, students, because face-to-face is totally different from remote learning. How do you check on them? I mean, your students. What about assessment? And sometimes there's a belief that e-learning offers no support in examination. What about workload? Are teachers competent? Training provided? Are training sessions provided? Confidence, students. Now, this is quite true. I think based on research or statistics in school, students who are left behind, who are not very IT, savvy, or students coming from a low socioeconomic status family, they will lose confidence and drop out. So these are key challenges, 9 key challenges. And then this is based on University of Technology, Sydney, and that they came up with this. So they did a research about the challenges and some of the solutions. All right. Now this is basically to enhance what I was saying in the earlier slide. And then we talk about education. These are challenges. Is education an assembly line? We just give them, prepare them, feed them, and then they do the examination, and then they graduate, and then they become the product. Because education is not an assembly line, it's more than that. So these are challenges. Are we going to produce students which are merely product? Or are we making a difference to the students and changing their lives? All right. Now, these are challenges. So we have the theory, we have the challenges. Let's look at some of the solutions. So we need to change our mindset. We have to move. Okay. So this is one of the solutions. We move our mindset in this shift from 20th century mindset to 21st century mindset. So look at some of this shift. So if we are already in this 21st century mindset, that means we have taken steps to move and provide solution to the situation, because we are not merely teachers, but we are educators. And always remember that technology is not your master. Technology is your servant. We have to remember this. Technology is our servant, not our master. We are the master in education, not technology. So technology is a tool. A tool. A means to the end, not the end. Okay, please keep this. Technology is a tool and a servant to us. We are the master. In Malaysia, we have short-term measures. Now, these are some of the measures done for short-term, yeah? Teacher training, empowering teachers to manage online teaching and learning, hand-holding, and guidance from e-moderators. Building support mechanisms, support from e-moderators via collaboration with district and state education departments. Leveraging on user-friendly teaching and learning platforms. I think all of us are quite familiar with LMS, Google Classroom, Google Meet, Schoology, MS Teams, Zoom, etc., etc. Now, these are short-term measures. This is again from Ministry of Technology, Sydney. They came up with this to share, quality framework for online course delivery. So this is basically one of the solutions. And I was talking about the shift, okay? The shift in learning, the 7 most powerful idea in shifts. Okay, the idea shifts in learning today. And the strategies, some of the strategies that we can apply in this new normal. So we have 9 strategies here. And we want to talk about hybrid teaching, 7 tips. And also tips for teachers. I think one of the factors that is very crucial for all of us in the teaching fraternity or among practitioners is we must always be motivated. The moment our motivation is low, then we might lose the essence of teaching and learning. So these 7 tips for teachers, I think these 7 tips are, are really crucial for teachers. You see, the word there is practice. communicate, be optimistic, make a routine, assign work that matters, okay? Indulging only in work that matters. Create a sense of community. Now, this is very crucial because due to this current situation, there is an element of loneliness in learning and teaching. So we have to create a sense of community to ensure that, you know, every learner is not alone. And as teachers, we are never alone. And show availability. Now, one of the factors that are really of great concern is, all right, one of the factors of great concern is basically whether, you know, our time management for our learners or for our colleagues in school or colleges or universities, the time factor, because whether we are available because of the workload. So these are also some of the things that we really need to take into consideration. And maybe we want to look at blended learning. I think you can go further on what blended learning is about. You can, find that blended learning and find that it is also a solution. This is a very good piece of advice for all of us as solutions. One of the solutions. And then based on these 9 elements, maybe we can reflect and reimagine in our own context. And then we talk about testing and assessment, evaluation. Now this was before. And the new normal in assessment, evaluation, there is a change. Maybe we go into, digital, using AI, so technology has advanced, and due to the advancement in technology, we can have now standardized examination online. So therefore, in Malaysia, you see, there's a transition time. Okay, this transition time will provide a solution for all those who are involved in the teaching and learning. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going through this, and let's see some of the pedagogical solution. Yeah. Now look at number 6 here. Make technology the servant, not the master. Look at number 3, contextualize. Look at number 5, inspire. All right. So this slide provides you reconnection to recovery and resilience pathway through the current pandemic. So this slide will, provide us with an understanding about how we can move forward and still perform effectively as a practitioner. So let's look quickly at the pedagogical implication. Now, it's very important that you personalize your pedagogical shift. All right? Because at the end of the day, we can talk about theories, we can talk about challenges and issues, and the most crucial part is whether our pedagogical aspect of what we are doing in the classroom is acceptable, or is it effective for our learners? Because learning is more important than teaching. All right, so some aspects to ease the transition to the new normal. This is, again, like I mentioned earlier, the shift. This shift is very crucial. And this is a practical approach that this is my personal practical approach when I want to embark on the new normal. I have the approach, that the theme, the topic, the instruction, procedure, activities, underlying principles and beliefs, outcome and remarks. So I create this so that I'm on the right track all the time. I create this. I create this aspect of teaching and learning so that I don't deviate from the norm of teaching and learning. And this is my name. You can look at it from the acronym there, Islam. And this is my suggestion. We can use these 5 keywords here: activate, share, learn, apply, and move. So this is what I'm trying to say. Activate, you basically in a face-to-face classroom, we are talking about set induction. And then share, we are talking about presentation and practice in the face-to-face, learn, development, production. And then apply, we are talking about homework practice in face-to-face. And at the end, we have move. Move means we move forward. Okay, so activate, share, learn, apply, and move. Now, these are some of the explanation provided. This is basically a suggested, online teaching methodology. So remember, Islam. Conclusion. Solutions. New kinds of problems require new methods of solutions. And new method of solutions require new ways of thinking, all for quality and effective learning and teaching. And the key word, as I mentioned earlier, is contextualization. Just contextualize your learning and teaching according to the needs of your learners. One hat doesn't fit all. Make use of whatever you have from the technology perspective, from the resources, and make the best, because one hat doesn't fit all. And that's the key word. Wherever you are, you know your students best. You know what your students need. You know their learning styles. And based on the resources that you have, give them the best. And I think that will be the most important thing to do and the most noble thing to do. And also, the pandemic situation has provided us a new zone to venture into the new zone. All right, we have the comfort zone, the fear zone, the learning zone, and the growth zone. Hopefully, this pandemic provides us with a growth zone. And I like this quote by Sitting Bull. Inside me, there are two dogs. One is mean and evil, and the other is good. They fight each other all the time. When I'm asked which one wins, I answer the one I feed most. So let's feed the one that can motivate us into the growth zone. And this is my hope. My hope is that our new normal today exposes what was wrong with our old normal yesterday and sets us up for a better normal tomorrow. Okay, remember the 10 questions? The pertinent questions earlier on at the beginning of my presentation. Now, the same 10 questions I'm putting here a little bit again with the research innovations, technological innovation, and socio-economic interventions. Now, can you see number 4 there? I put in blue, light blue. Yeah, these 3 is basically the opportunities that we can gain through the new normal. And do I have 2 or 3 minutes? Yeah. Okay, this is my, anybody want to contact me, you can keep this, you can take a photo shot of this. Because I just want to show in the context of Indonesia, 2 or 3 minutes. Is it okay? Okay. Can you see this girl? Can you see this video clip? Oh, you can't see the video clip, yeah? Okay, I need to share again, right? Okay, this is very video clip that, you know, I'm so proud of this girl. Okay, I need to share screen again, yeah? Okay, you can, yeah? Okay, now look at this girl. Okay, now it is very touching. I mean, without parents, brought up by the grandmother, but she has proven to the world that, you know, she can perform in English. And I think credit should be given to the family, to the teachers, to the school, everyone who has educated her, not teach her, but educated her that everything is possible. Okay, I think I should stop now. This is, you know, something that I'm very proud of. Indonesia pasti boleh, pasti bisa. Yeah.
era. Some areas, geographical area may be one of the factor. So low access of the internet connection and also some technological readiness. Some students maybe don't have access to the laptop and maybe to PC. How would be the ideal model of maybe blended learning, or how to anticipate those kind of problems, Dr. Aslam? So social aspect and the governance model of the university in the future, in the new normal era, and then the challenging aspect of the internet connection and the technological tools that have by the student and the teachers.
Okay, socially, I know at this point, we are, I mean, human beings are social creatures, right? we never let ourselves to be alone, because you know, there's always engagement in social activities. So the current situation has kind of you know, confined us to sometimes the home and sometimes to only our, you know, our office. And so basically we will also feel the strain, you know, the strain of being you know, confined. So but due to you know, the availability of the social media or the technology, I think we can overcome that. So try to keep yourself busy. If you don't, you can use all the different modes of technology available at our, you know, our doorstep, and also keep the connectivity going among teachers, because teachers or practitioners, we must never walk alone. There should always be, you know, communication about new ideas, put it together. I mean, the communication must not stop in terms of both the academic and also the social communication among us. So don't let yourself be alone and confine yourself, but get yourself connected. That's very crucial. And also you must encourage your learners to get connected. I know, you know, sometimes you cannot use the laptop, or maybe the students don't have laptops. Maybe, you know, we create situation where the students can have access to maybe their smartphones, or maybe, I don't know, because I think in governance, maybe the television should play an important role, you know. Maybe the television, we have certain time for students' involvement or teachers' involvement in education on television, because television is something that most families would have, especially in rural areas. If the connectivity is not very good in terms of internet, maybe television can be one of the biggest, you know, biggest influences at this point. That's what I think. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yes. One more question, Dr. Aslam, from the chat.
Yeah. What was the question?
Okay. Online from University of Islam Malang, from Ronald. How to make online learning more effective, because most students learn from Google. So that sometimes students feel bored because it's the same as studying, not the teacher.
Okay, this is a very interesting question. I told you, right? Actually, if you look at the 10 questions that I have shared, we have already practiced the new normal before the new normal. Remember Education 4.0? Yes. So Education 4.0, if you look at the 9 trends, the 9 trends do really reflect about education in the new normal. So that's why I was trying to relate the new normal to education 4.0, the 9 trends, personalized learning, and teachers, peers, and mentors. Right. So this is where teachers have to keep the motivation going. Teachers have to think out of the box. Teachers have to go into the growth zone, not the comfort zone. So if you look at some of the slides that I provided, teachers must always be not 1 step or 2 steps, many steps ahead of the learners. Come up with meaningful activities and then look at the acronym Islam. Look at the M. What did the M says? Move. Right? Move. So in the move, the teacher has to come up with new, meaningful activities for the learners to be brought into the class for the students in the next class. So students are frequently engaged before they come to class. So you see, if you look at the Islam, ASLAM, it gives you something that is a chain that is not broken. At any time, there's learning taking place. So teachers must go out of the way, the extra mile. Towards the end of the lesson, come up with something that students need to do and prepare for the next lesson. So students are always engaged in learning. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Aslam. It's a very nice and very great presentation from Dr. Aslam. So Dr. Aslam is basically presenting about the holistic education for a new pandemic era. How do we contextualize our teaching and learning processes? And we need to adjust our students' learning styles, learning needs, and don't forget about the acronym, Dr. Aslam, activate, share, learn, apply, and move forward for the better education process. So it's a very great presentation we have got from Dr. Aslam from his very intensive experiences in the area of English language teaching and teacher training program at the national level and international level. Again, thank you very much, and please give another round of applause for Dr. Aslam Khan.
I say the key word is contextualization. Yeah, remember.
Yes.
And one hat doesn't fit all. You
That's
know
true.
your students well, you know how good they are, and you know their socio-economic status, what they can afford and what they cannot afford, what is available, not available, you know, and make the best for your learners. So for Indonesian teachers and practitioners, harus kita berikan yang terbaik untuk anak-anak Indonesia di mana-mana. Seluruh Indonesia yang terbaik, karena anak-anak Indonesia akan menjadi leaders of tomorrow. Bukan untuk Indonesia, tetapi untuk berjaya di platform antarabangsa. So guru-guru, pendidik Indonesia harus berikan yang terbaik. InsyaAllah segala-galanya akan dibantu oleh Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala untuk bangsa Indonesia. And once again, thank you to Bapak Rektor, Vice Rector, all the management staff of Unisma, and all the staff organizing committee of Unisma. Thank you for inviting me. Saya sedia membantu apabila diminta. Sentiasa. And to all the participants, you can email me. And thank you for your presence here today. I'm really very glad to share whatever knowledge I have. Thank you once again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Let's be best teachers to to prepare the future leaders that can compete nationally and internationally. Thank you.
It is in your hands, yeah? Everything is in your hands. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Aslam. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the first session. I would like to invite Dr. Dwi Vita Heryawati, MPD. She is the second moderator for the second session, who will be leading the session with the title, The Interface of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 and Education 4.0 Implication for ELT Research and Practice. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Dwi Vita Heryawati, MPD.
Thank you very much to Bapak Dr. Imam Karimullah MA. Bapak Ibu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Bapak Ibu. Welcome to this international seminar, Icon ELT, entitled ELT in Post-Pandemic Era from Policies to Practices. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dwi Vita Heryawati, and I will serving you as moderator today. Our topic in this second plenary session is the interface of Industrial Revolution 4.0 and Education 4.0, implication for ELT research and practice. Bapak Ibu, in these sessions, I would like to introduce our presenters. He is Professor DRS Haji Junaidi Mistar, MPD PhD. He is the Vice Rector 1 of Islamic University of Malang. He was born in Lumajang, 3 April 1967, and he graduated from Monash University, Melbourne, Australia, and he got a lot of, awarding from some part, yeah. And then he got the professors in 1 January 2016, and the award is also from Satya Lancana Karya Satya, 20 years. And he also active in all the activities in the society, and he has a lot of publications, especially in international and national publications. And also he has a lot of experience in examining thesis and also dissertation from abroad also. And I believe Prof. Jun have a lot of experience, valuable experience that he can share to us this afternoon. Bapak Ibu, in this session we will have 40 minutes for the presentations and 20 minutes for question and answers. You may write down your questions in the chat rooms, and during the presentations, please you mute your audio. To our honorable presenters, Bapak Professor DRS Haji Junaidi Mistar PhD, please welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Is it all right now? Should I do it? Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Bu Vita. And good morning. Assalamualaikum, Pak Aslam. Probably you are still there with us. And also the participants of the conference today. I'm very happy to be with you today in our conference sessions to share knowledge, expertise, and so on. And I'm quite lucky because what I'm going to talk is actually already discussed some points by Pak Aslam. So
what I would like to do is just to get down to the implications for the ELT research and practice. Pak Aslam has already discussed in very good presentations, very detailed about the the characteristics of Industrial Revolutions 4.0 and then Educations 4.0, and then how the two fields meet together, and then what challenges are present for the instructions or for the teaching learning process in the era Education 4.0. Okay, so some of the my presentations will quite be the same as what Pak Aslam has discussed just now. My topic here is the interference of Industrial Revolutions 4.0 and Education 4.0, implications for ELT research and practice. This paper is presented in our first international conference on ELT, held by the English Education Department, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Islam Malang. Okay. As the title implies, two aspects are to be discussed. The first one is the industrial revolutions, and the other one will be about educations, the developmental stages of educations, and then how the two meet together and how the interface of the two will affect our teaching learning process, particularly in the ELT practices and research. Right, now in the developmental process of industry, as we learn that the first industrial revolutions took place in 1784, which is then known to be Industry 1.0, when mechanical productions was introduced by using machines which are powered by water and steam. Then about 100 years later, that was in 1870, nearly 100 years later, the Industry 2.0 occurred when electric power was invented, so that mass productions and productivity took place. Again, about 100 years later, in 1969, another industrial revolutions occurred. Then we called it as Industrial Revolutions 3.0, where at that time electronics was found, so that communications and mass productions, autonomous productions in factories was found very much at that time. Then now we come to Industrial Revolutions 4.0, as Pak Aslam has discussed. The industry at present is based on cyber physical systems, so that in this industrial era, there are a number of characteristics actually, but a few are just to mention. The first one is the existence of big data, so that now we have a lot of data with a lot of capacity for data storage and so on. Everything is available on the internet, with the idea of Internet of Things, Internet of People, and so on. And then artificial intelligence is also another characteristics of the Industry 4.0. And I think for the applications of the artificial intelligence for the teaching of language, particularly for reading and writing, Pak Jati will talk about it tomorrow. On the other side, we also have developmental stages of education, starting from Education 1.0, where at that time the process of teaching learning process occurred by memorizations, so that the students were assigned a lot to memorize facts and so on. Then education 2.0, education 3.0, and now we come to education 4.0, in which the education is directed at producing innovations. That's why then education 4.0 is called innovation producing education. Innovation producing education. Education that produces innovations. Right. There are also a number of characteristics. Oops, sorry. There are a number of characteristics of the education 4.0. Let me find the screen once again. Oh, it's not in my laptop. Can anyone help? Okay. I find it. I hope I find it. Okay, that should be. It's not working. Okay. There are also some characteristics of education 4.0. Three of them are to mention here. The first one is that the education 4.0 responds to the need of industry 4.0, where man and machine aligns to enable new possibilities. So here, man and machine align to enable new possibilities. So man may work in collaboration with the machine. The second one is that education 4.0 harnesses the potential of digital technologies, personalized data, open source content, and the new humanity of this globally connected, technology-fueled world. Look, here we have some key points, key words, the digital technologies, because we are already in the Industrial Revolutions 4.0. And then we got the personalized data to meet the need of each individual. That's why then Pak Aslam just told us that the teaching learning process should be contextualized, should be in accordance with the individual need of the students, of the community, and so on. Open source content, in the sense that the materials that we may use for teaching learning process may be obtained through internet. But then, even though the technologies may develop very sophisticatedly, then we have to remember that the humanity should not be avoided. And the last one, number 3 here, is that the education 4.0 establishes a blueprint for the future of learning, that is lifelong learning, from childhood schooling to continuous learning in the workplace to learning to play a better role in society. In the education 4.0, the learning may be individual, and the learning process should not take place only in the classroom. The students learn during or along their life. Okay, Pak Aslam also used this kind of pictures to explain more about education 4.0, that education is taking place anywhere, anytime, so that the students may learn something not only in the classroom, not only during the formal teaching learning process. The education 4.0 is personal, contextualized at the personal level. That's why then it is flexible. The positions, the role of the teachers can be peers and mentors. The focus should be why, I think it has to be why and how, not what and where, because when we are talking about what and where, we are talking about factual things, and I think the learners may learn about factual things independently. But when we train them to think critically, so that the aspect is why and how, probably they need teachers as mentors and peers. The teaching learning process should also be modular in the form of project. That's why project-based learning becomes popular nowadays. Okay, I think these characteristics of education 4.0 has already been discussed by Pak Aslam quite in detail just now in our first sessions. Now, look at the interface of the two now. I think the education, here I put it here this way, education has to be able to cope with the demands of Industry 4.0, particularly in terms of the graduate quality. So, we have to produce graduate with a quality that meets the demands of Industry 4.0. That's the area of education. And then technologies invented in Industry 4.0 can be used to assist the learning process in Education 4.0. Again, I put an emphasis here that the technologies can be used to assist the learning processes. So Pak Aslam just emphasized that technology is not the master, technology is a means for improving our teaching learning process. Now let's have a look at the demands of the Industry 4.0 in terms of the quality of the graduate, particularly in terms of the skills needed in the Industrial Revolution 4.0. We've got top 10 skills needed. The first one is complex problem solving, the ability to solve complex problems. As we know that problem is not standing alone, there are many factors that may affect one problem, so that the solutions should be analyzed from a number of perspectives, so that complex problem solving skill is needed, should be developed on the part of our students. The second one is critical thinking skills. We understand that in this era, the students need to think critically, need to develop their critical thinking skills, so that they may not accept everything, but when they got to something, they think it critically about why something happens, what factors that may cause this, what possibilities, what possible solutions may be taken, and so on. Next, the third skill is creativity. That's why the students need to be creative. We need to train the students to be creative. The fourth one, people management, because the students need them to collaborate, to coordinate with others. Then people management skill is very important. We still have other characteristics, other skills needed in the Industry 4.0. But my point here is that if we look at the skills here, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management. Number 5 here is coordinating with others. Number 6, emotional intelligence. 7, judgment and decision making, and so on. These skills need language. In order to develop these skills, the student's ability in using language is critical. And then, because the communication in this Industry 4.0 is not only within the learners' community, they may have to interact with people from other nations, then the role of English is very important to develop the students' skills, these skills. That's why then the implications is very serious of the Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0 on the teaching and learning of English in the ELT. So, how is our ELT now? If we look at our ELT, now we have abundant online learning resources are available on the internet. These learning resources are free to select based on our individual need and interest, based on the students' individual need and interest. So we may select the learning materials which are available on the internet that suit to the students' need and interest. Those learning materials may also be used for independent learning and also for classroom learning. So in addition to using the available learning material, learning resources in the internet, I think, of course, we can also develop our own and then share it on the internet so others may use it. That's why then in the our ELT here in the era of Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0, our ELT should involve the learners in learning tasks in interactive cooperative setting in the form of teacher-student, student-student or student-teacher interactions, both in face-to-face setting, presence learning, and technology-mediated setting or distance learning. In my opinion, we cannot neglect the importance of face-to-face learning setting, presence setting, even though we can also develop such learning activities which are technology mediated. So some kind of blended learning may be developed for overcoming the situations. Next, the ELT should develop communicative skills on the part of the students, both spoken and written, of course, for social and workplace interactions. The development of communicative skills here is very important. If we look at the skills needed in the Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0, as I just showed you. The next one is that our ELT should develop learner autonomy, because the students may learn independently in their own time, in their own place. That's why then our ELT should develop learner autonomy for lifelong learning. The students may learn English not only in the classroom sessions that we have, but also in any place, any time they have. These situations, of course, lead some concerns in terms of the research areas. So, what kind of things should we study then? If we look at the areas of research in ELT, we may have something like this. There are 6 factors, 6 components of the ELT process. The first one is the learner. with his or her individual characteristics, individual differences, something like in terms of intelligence, aptitude, age, personality, and so on. That's why then our teaching should suit with the learner characteristics. Then the teaching with the teacher in it. Including here is the classroom activities. How is the teaching learning process? How is the teacher is teaching? How is the teacher is educating? Then we also have the learning process with the learner in it, of course. The learners may have their own learning strategies and style. So here we may study about how they learn in the aspect of the learning strategies with the new technology mediated activities, how the students deals with their learning activities. Then the environment. The environment will provide input, linguistic input. The students may have opportunities to have English learning context and use with others, be it physically or technologically mediated. Then the last one is the outcome in the form of the attainment of English proficiency. So these aspects need to be studied more so that we can better understand how the ELT should be carried out in the industry 4.0 and education 4.0. Then in the practice of ELT, there are of course some changes because of the development of industry and education. The impact on ELT practices, we have here, for example, in terms of how the teacher teach, the method. When the teaching learning process shifted from the face-to-face to remote to online learning, for example, then how the teacher teaches, how the teachers teach, how the teacher teaches, and so on. And also how the students learn in terms of the strategies, as I told you, and also in terms of the content of the instructional materials. What does the instructional material look like, where the teachers get it, and so on. How the learning space look like. Is it formal in the form of classroom, public, or personal, with the students may learn in their own place, at their own time, and so on. Then the roles of the teachers may also change. The role of the ELT teachers may also change. As we learned before, that the roles may be changing from the instructor to the tutor or peers. And also the role of the students may also change. And of course, the characteristics of the teachers, the characteristics of the students. That's why with this impact of Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0 on ELT practices, we need to redefine the characteristics of a good or a professional teachers of English. If we look at in the Indonesian context, referring to the undang-undang about guru and dosen, we have the prerequisites for personal ELT teachers, which are prescribed to have subject matter competence, pedagogical competence, personal competence, and social competence. If we look at these 4 types of competencies of professional ELT teachers in our Indonesian context, these characteristics seem to be not aligned with the technological advancement, with the Industry 4.0. That's why then we need to look at the characteristics or the requirements for the professional ELT teachers. If we look at the literature on these things, we get to know that there have been some informations about theories about the professional teachers, something like the one we have here, that the professional teachers should have technological knowledge. This is to accord with, to get aligned with the Industry 4.0. Then content knowledge, subject matter knowledge, and pedagogical knowledge. Usually these three, TK, technological knowledge, content knowledge or subject matter knowledge, in this case of course not only the knowledge of English but also of the skills, and then pedagogical knowledge about how to teach. These three is visualized in a framework, something like this, something like this. So we have technological knowledge, content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, which are then all together abbreviated as TPACK, technological, pedagogical and content knowledge. Technological, pedagogical and content knowledge. But then if we look at this, as in our first sessions, Pak Aslam also emphasized on the role of the teacher should not be only teaching but also educating. That's why I think in addition to the three, we also need another requirement for the ELT teachers in terms of their personality, so that with a good personality, the teacher may not only teach the students but also educate the students to be a good human, to develop their well-being. So in addition to technological knowledge, content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge, personality is also important, and the personality may cover both personal competence and social competence as outlined in our undang-undang about guru and docent, teachers and lecturers. So when it is put in the form of a picture, visualized in the form of a picture, then personality should govern all the three types of competencies: technological competence, pedagogical competence, and content knowledge, content competence. And they are all tied up with a good personality to be a good educator. Okay, that's my presentation. I would like to end up the presentations with a quote here saying that technology won't replace teachers, but teachers who use technology will probably replace teachers who do not. That's why Pak Aslam says that technology is not the master, we are the master. Technology is just a mean. Another quote: the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's from Alvin Toffler. I think that's all for my presentations. The rest of our time can be used for discussions, for question and answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Professor Junaidi Mistar. Bapak Ibu, there is some question from the audience. The first from M. Galuh Elga, Bapak. Yeah, the question is about, based on the presentation, state that the characteristic of education's 4.0 is Internet of Things, and the learning process can be conducted in anywhere and anytime. In contrast, in pandemic era, there is some students and teachers feel difficulties to using internet and lack of technology. So that is the education 4.0 is only can use in the modern city, and how to solve that? Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. As we also learned from the first sessions, there are some challenges for the teaching learning process in education 4.0. One of the challenge is about the affordability of the technology. Not all of our students may have enough money to provide, to buy the required equipment for studying, for learning online. That's why then that's a challenge. How is it to overcome the problems? A number of solutions has been proposed and actually have been implemented. At the governmental level, the government has provided allowances for the students, for the teachers with financial support to buy, quota and something, so that the students will be able to carry out the online teaching learning process. Of course, the affordability is not the only challenge. Other challenges still exist, something like the technical issues, the skills of the teachers, the technological literacy of the teachers and also of the students is also another challenge. That's why upgrading of the technological literacies on how to use technology for the teachers and also for the students is necessary to carry out. Yes, I think that's some ways that we can do to overcome the practical problems we have in reality in the field about the teaching learning process that we have during this pandemic era. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bapak. For the next questions from Bapak F. Ekrisang Baskara from Universitas Sanata Dharma. It is related to the era of pandemic. The question is how the researchers adapted so far, with which tools and method will be possible to use, and how will research collaboration will shape in the future? That's the first question, Bapak. The second one, will translingual practice and pedagogy, including its use of digital technologies, be one of the possible topics to explore during this pandemic, especially in a multilingual context in Indonesia?
Okay, so the first one, sorry, what was
the first one is about how have researchers adapted the technology.
Right, very good, yeah. Right, there are of course problems in carrying out research. For example, let's say in the in the teaching learning process, when we are going to have an experimental design. Usually the experimental design is carried out in the face-to-face classroom sessions, in which the researcher is studying about the effectiveness of a certain teaching methodology, for example. Then we can measure the students' achievement, let's say, comparing two groups of students. The first one is taught by using the traditional method, the conventional one, and the other one is taught by using the new method developed by the researcher. Then at the end of the experiment, the two groups are compared. But then that kind of thing cannot be used when we have an online classes, because some technical problems are faced. That's why we may use other designs which is quite similar. For example, instead of using 2 groups of students, we may have only 1 group. So what we need to do is to assess the students' performance, the students' achievement before we start teaching with the new developed strategy. Then we teach the students for some time through online courses or through remote learning. In our first sessions, but Aslam gave us made us aware of the differences between online learning and remote learning. So what we have now is a kind of remote learning actually. Then after teaching for some period of time, at the end of the experiment, we measure again the students' achievement. Then we compare the achievement before we start teaching with the new method we develop, and with the achievement after we teach with the new method that we develop. The improvement, the increase between the first measurement and the second measurement is supposed to be the effectiveness of our teaching learning process, of the teaching learning process that we develop. Yes, I think that's for the first, and then the second one
is will translingual practice and pedagogy, including its use of digital technologies, be one of the possible topics explored during these pandemics, especially in multilingual context like Indonesia.
Right, in the multilingual context like in Indonesia, the point is that when we are teaching a new language, we need to minimize the use of the students' L1. So we have to maximize the use of the target language, the language that the learners are learning. In that way, then we can maximize the availability of the linguistic input that we can provide to the students. Otherwise, the students will get much input in their own language, so that the development of the skills in the target language will slow down. Again, I think that we have to maximize the availability of the input in the target language, in the language that the students learn. In that way, with the maximum input of the target language, the students will learn much better, much more, and much faster. Remember about the role of input in the teaching learning process. Yep.
Okay, so the emphasizing is on the target language here.
Right.
Okay, the next question, Prof. That's from Bu Noni Mia Rahmawati from Unisma. From both presentations today, one point that I caught is about reaching the students individually, as teachers need to contextualize their teaching. Could you please give us some ideas on what should teachers or lecturers do to be able to reach each students when we teach only in a big class, as commonly found in Indonesia context?
Okay, very good. That's a challenge to individualize our service in the classical meeting classroom. That's why then we need to be creative in this case. For example, the students learn at their own time something that they meet to their own interest. Then when we come to the classroom, they share with other students in the form of what they have learned and so on, so that the teaching learning process in the classroom, when we have a meeting with the students, the meeting, what I mean by the meeting here is not necessarily to be in, in one place, but it can also be in the remote context, so meeting in the remote context. When the meeting is done, the meeting is used for discussions, what the students have learned, so that in that case, sharing, collaborating will take place. The students will be able to share, to collaborate with other students in their class.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Junaidi Mistar. Bapak Ibu participants, if there is still some questions, you can contact Prof. Jun to email because of the limitations of the times. Well, Bapak Ibu, please give applause to Prof. Junaidi Mistar.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's also, if there are still questions and so on, you can contact us. I think my phone number, my email is already in with the committee, so the committee may share it to the audience. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. That's all for the second plenary session today. And now please you turn on your videos for taking a pictures together. And don't forget to come to our parallel sessions after breaks at 1 p.m. in the same room Zoom meeting. And also don't forget to fill the link of participant attendance, for getting your certificate. Again, thank you very much for Prof. Junaidi Mr. PhD for the valuable knowledge, and also for all the participants today. See you on the next parallel sessions. Thank you for your nice attentions. Give applause again to Prof. Junaidi Mr. Well, please you turn on your video, Bapak Ibu. We will have the photo sessions. Pak Ganjar yang sudah. Okay, next slide perhaps. Please, audience, you have to turn on your video. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Please come back at 1 p.m. Have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.